plays like a white guy?
No, he plays like a black guy.
Let me fix it. He has swag.
He got swag.
Got it.
And just slow in me, just major moves, and then wet ball. I mean, he shoot the blood out of that thing.
I mean, let me tell you something. That boy Doncic, he's the real deal. As we used to say in my day, that's a bad white boy.
Luka Doncic, a wonder kid who fulfilled his full potential. Luka won the Spanish League 3 times in a row and the EuroLeague, in which he was also selected as Finals MVP before he even joined the NBA. One of the most decorated rookies to ever enter the draft, he also won the gold medal in the Eurobasket with his country, Slovenia, when he was only 17 years old. Luka's stardom has only continued to grow since then. His size combined with his outstanding basketball IQ makes him one of the best passers to have ever played the game. His strength and shooting ability make him a nightmare for opposing defenders, and his killer instinct is what sets Luka apart from everyone else. Clutch moments, insane no-look passes, and crazy circus shots devastate the confidence of his rivals. A mix of magic and Michael. That's Luka, a stone-cold killer who controls the pace in every possession and gets his teammates open shots. His NBA accomplishments show that too. After winning Rookie of the Year in his first season in the league, Luka has fully made the Dallas Mavericks team his own. He has made the All-NBA first team 5 times in a row and has been selected to 5 All-Star teams, 4 of them as a starter. For reference, Luka has already made more first-team All-NBA honors than Steph Curry, who only has 4 of them on his resume. Here are some NBA legends, past and current, talking about what makes Luka special. Kevin Garnett is one of the fiercest competitors of his generation, an NBA champion who never pulled punches on the court or off of it. We can always count on him to keep it straight. This is a guy who was one of the best defenders in the league for most of the 21 seasons he played for the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Boston Celtics, and the Brooklyn Nets. He went into battle against peak LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and emerged victorious. KG rarely gives compliments, and when he does, he always means it. Here is what he had to say about stopping Luka. Spoiler alert, you can't.
I love Luka's pace. I love Luka's maturity. You see his maturity. You see how he's been playing with older men or older people in this life. You see it. He's not afraid of anything in the league. He goes at some of the best defenders the same way and makes them look like they're not that great of defenders. He has a pace, you can't speed him up, and he's figured out the league.
Wade is one of the best shooting guards to ever play the game of basketball. He won his first NBA championship and Finals MVP with Shaquille O'Neal, and later, LeBron James and Chris Bosh joined him in Miami to create one of the best teams of all time. Wade has played with many great players in his storied career. He played with LeBron James, who's widely regarded as one of the best 2 players to ever play the game of basketball. As you can imagine, Wade is always careful about making comparisons to LeBron. Here's what he had to say about Luka.
It's LeBron James-like from the standpoint of how he's able to rope that pass, to shooters, in corners, getting blitzed. It's not many guys that can do that and put the ball right there, and he does an amazing job of it, so I was impressed by that.
Allen Iverson was one of the pioneers in the NBA. His swagger and style on and off the court inspired many kids to grow up to become basketball players. His crossovers and streetball-like style of play, combined with his killer instinct, were a huge part of his game. Style and swagger remain a big part of Iverson's identity to this day. Here is what Iverson had to say when he was asked which current player in the league reminds him of himself.
What the hell is wrong with Luka? I'm talking about his style. It's kind of like street ball. He move at his own pace. No, he plays like a black guy. He got swag. He's so cool out there.
We all know who LeBron James is. Along with Michael Jordan, they are probably 2 of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. Even though he's a physical freak and a freight train, LeBron's vision and ability to control the game are among his greatest strengths as a player. He's also a huge basketball historian and loves to study the game. So, when LeBron talks about the abilities of certain players, we should listen carefully. Here is what he had to say when he was asked about Luka, a huge compliment from one of the greatest basketball minds in the history of the game.
I mean, he's gigantic. He's 6'8" point guard. He's 225 pounds. He has the ball on the string, and more importantly, his vision. That's why I love his vision. He can control a game. He doesn't even have to shoot. He'll walk the ball up the court 10 straight times and get to his spot every single time just because of his pace. It's the mind.
Robert Horry played in the NBA for 16 years. He won 7 championships, and he didn't play in the 1960s for the Boston Celtics, so that's quite the accomplishment. Robert Horry certainly knows a thing or two about playing winning basketball and the concepts of building a championship team. Here is what he had to say about Luka when people were calling him slow and not athletic enough. If you understand the game of basketball, you can be a useful player on any team, and Luka has mastered the game so early in his career.
You watch Luka. Luka is so freaking slow, and you like, why can't they stop that?
Right.
I'm like,
yes.
But when you crafty and you know how to play, that's all you need.
Steph Curry is universally considered the best shooter in the history of basketball. His shooting touch and relentless movement off the ball changed the spacing in the league forever. He was the focal point of the team with the greatest regular season in the history of the NBA, the Golden State Warriors. Later on, after Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, Steph was an integral part of probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Curry is one of the most influential players in the last 15 years, and absolutely deserves his place among the greatest players of this generation. In recent years, he's had quite a few battles with Luka. He was asked to comment on Luka after one of them.
His size and his ball handling skills keep you on the edge the whole game, just because that plus, being a three-level scorer, you have to kind of worry about everything. You don't want to get his step back threes going, so you got to press up on him, but he's shifty and got a great handle, so he can use his leverage to get by you, and then obviously his court vision is unreal, so he's been playing at an extremely high level, and he's been getting better every year.
Mark Jackson was one of the best point guards in the league in the 1990s. Later on, he became a head coach for the Golden State Warriors and laid the foundations for the team that ended up becoming a dynasty. He is also a beloved broadcasting icon as an analyst and match commentator for ABC. Mark Jackson is one of the greatest basketball minds out there, and his words carry a lot of weight. There are very few people who understand the game of basketball better than Mark Jackson. Whether we are talking about fundamentals or broad-scale strategy, Mark is the man with all the answers. He was asked about Luka after the playoff series against the Clippers.
When they matched up against the Clippers in the playoffs, I'm sitting there saying Kawhi, Paul George, Pat Beverly. They got guys that's not only going to defend him, but they're going to try to beat him up.
Right.
And I want to see how he's going to respond, because I'm not sure he's ever faced this type of pressure defensively that he's about to face.
Right.
He put on a clinic, almost like they were little kids trying to defend him.
Right.
Where he imposed his will on them.
Kyrie Irving is a wizard with the basketball and always a pleasure to watch. His game is pure art, and there are very few players in the history of the sport who have mastered the game of basketball more than he has. Kyrie has also been all around the league. He has played alongside many special players. LeBron, Durant, Tatum, and Brown are just a few of the teammates he has had over the years. He's been in intense games and practices with all of them, and he knows what every single one of them is capable of. Here is Kyrie talking about Luka's ascension to become an all-time great player.
I'm amazed. I don't use that word lightly either. I think he's answered a lot of calls. When Luka first came into the league, there were a lot of questions on what he was going to turn out to be. I know a few people are eating their words too. So watching him ascend into becoming an all-time great is amazing, and I don't take it for granted because, like you said, I play with one of the greatest of all time, arguably the greatest of all time. For me, I just want to be supportive and continue to be an all-time great next to him and continue to show him the ropes and let him continue to fly, man. He's already been doing it.
Jason Kidd is one of the best point guards of the past 25 years. A master of the pick and roll with a strong affinity for rebounding, Jason Kidd popularized triple-doubles again. Without him, who knows if Russell Westbrook would have become the same player he did. Now coaching Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, Kidd's pairing with Luka has proven to be a perfect fit. Luka has immense respect for Kidd's playing career and coaching abilities, so their chemistry is unmatched. Jason has spoken about Luka's superhuman abilities on many occasions. Here's what he said when asked what he loves most about Luka as a player and as a human being.
He's not soft, that's for sure. He's one of the toughest kids that I've had the opportunity to coach, and he's not scared of a fight. But you look at his toughness, he's playing with a broken nose, never complains, loves the competition.
Paul Pierce is a Boston Celtics legend. His playoff battles against LeBron and Kobe were out of this world. Because of his size, shot-making, and scoring ability, Paul Pierce was one of the best scorers and players of his generation, his career culminating in 2008 with his team winning a championship against the Lakers. After retiring from the game of basketball, Paul has started a career as an analyst. He loves Luka and has always praised his game. Here is what he recently said about Luka potentially winning the championship against his beloved Celtics.
If Luka wins the chip, he gets Finals MVP, he no doubt will be the best player in the league. Not only will he be the best player in the league, he'll be crowned the best player in the league, I'll give him face of the league.
A mid-range maestro who plays intense defense, throws thunderous dunks, and makes clutch, history-making shots, Michael Jordan is the real personification of an NBA legend. Michael Jordan has always been in awe of Luka Doncic and has appreciated his play style. So much so, he has decided to make him a Jordan athlete. Since Luka signed with the Jordan brand, they can be seen hugging and whispering jokes to each other at multiple events as their professional and personal connection continues to grow. People want to make fun of Michael for his failures at scouting and recognizing talent, as he kept picking the wrong players for his former team, the Charlotte Hornets. But he certainly didn't make a mistake picking Luka as the next face for his million-dollar brand. Luka is a phenomenal player, and at such a young age, he's demonstrating skill it takes many guys years to develop. It will be incredible to watch him continue to advance in the league. Greg Popovich is the creator of the Spurs dynasty and one of the best coaches in the history of the league. His understanding of the mindset and nature of the players, as well as the X's and O's of the game overall, is unmatched, making him one of the greatest basketball minds ever. The popular Pop has been in the league for over 35 years and has seen some sensational players come and go. He saw Michael Jordan come into the league and take it by storm, watched Kobe burst onto the scene and bring the Lakers back to life, and witnessed LeBron grow before his eyes and become the player he is now. He puts Luka in the same conversations with all of them. Here are his thoughts.
If he walked in the room, you wouldn't say, no, he's not. He's just a beautiful basketball player. He's like the prototype for high basketball IQ and high skill level all rolled into one guy. And he's very special. If he can play for a good number of years, he'll be one of the great players for sure.
Dirk Nowitzki is considered one of the best international players to have ever played in the NBA. He revolutionized the game by popularizing shooting among big men. There are a lot of similarities between Dirk and Luka. Both were deemed not athletic enough to play in the league at a high level, but as soon as they stepped on the court, they proved all the doubters wrong. When Luka was drafted into the team, Dirk was his veteran, so they have a great relationship. Dirk has praised Luka on many platforms and would like to see Luka win another championship for the Dallas Mavericks.
I could see from day one, though, there's something special about this kid, how he reads the game, how he passes the ball, that he thrives in big moments. He's gotten better now from year to year. At 23, it's crazy that he has all that in his game. You know, usually you develop stuff or you have weakness, you work on the summer, and then when you're prime, then you become more of a complete player. But this kid at age 23, there's just nothing offensively that he can't do.
Charles Barkley had a storied NBA career. His outstanding production on the court, combined with his loud personality off of it, earned him a lot of fans. He used his fame after retirement to launch his career as a basketball analyst and has been one of the most prominent basketball voices in the past 10 years. Charles never holds back punches on television. Sometimes he can appear controversial, but he always speaks his mind. Here are his thoughts about Luka.
When they play big guys, you could tell Luka was going for the three. When you put that big guy out there against a guard, it's barbecue chicken.
Shaq remains to this day the most dominant player ever. His mere presence put fear in the eyes of opponents. You could make a day-long highlight video of Shaq terrorizing his defenders, breaking rims with his powerful dunks, or pulling down the basket constructions with the strength of his bare hands. Along with his friendly and larger-than-life personality, Shaq quickly became the face of the league and the favorite player of every little kid around the world. After retirement, Shaq continued his basketball journey by becoming an analyst for the TNT crew. Shaq is always the first to give criticism, but also the first to give praise. He values winning above everything else, so his stance on Luka is pretty understandable.
Right now, he's the second best in Dallas Maverick history, only because of the championship. Now, if he wins one, you could put him in that conversation with Dirk. He ain't over here yet. He's still in Dallas. He's a great player, but he's in Dallas.
Steve Nash is a two-time league MVP and one of the best point guards in the last 25 years. He was an integral part of Mike D'Antoni's 6 seconds or less Suns, who shaped modern NBA basketball. One of the best passers the world has ever seen, Nash was the conductor on the court for every team he played on. His basketball knowledge is vast, his love for the game unmatched. After retiring from the game, he had a quick stint as head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, led by Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He has been in the NBA for what seems like an eternity, having seen it all. Yet again, he was left speechless by Luka.
I just think his feel for the game, coupled with his size. He's able to use his size to get free, and that feel for how to get people off balance and how to spray the ball or how to score.
Chauncey Billups, another great point guard turned head coach, possesses a brilliant basketball basketball intellect. Unlike Kidd, Billups hasn't had the opportunity to coach Luka firsthand, but has faced him as an opponent. In a matchup between Billups' Trailblazers and Luka's Mavericks, Luka delivered a great performance, recording a triple-double with 42 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists, leading his team to victory. Reflecting on the game, Billups acknowledged the significant challenge Luka was for his squad that night. He highlighted Luka's exceptional one-on-one skills, noting how he made the Blazers' defense appear ineffective and exposed their vulnerabilities.
It's a matter of playing against Luka. He makes every single team in the league look like that. This guy is so big, you double him, he sees over top of you, his passes are on time, on target most of the time. Some players are just that good, or they can do that. So for us, we knew that we were going to have to make multiple efforts on most possessions in this game. And for the most part, we did that, had a couple breakdowns, in the last few minutes of it that cost us.
When asked who Luka reminded him of, Chauncey kept it simple.
Luka. I don't think we've seen a guy like him. He's one of one.
Vince Carter didn't need much time to recognize how good Luka Doncic is. The two faced each other only 2 times, winning 1 game apiece. However, in those 2 games, Luka earned Carter's respect, hence why Vince still talks highly of him today as an NBA analyst.
He's been smooth sailing. We watched him as soon as he got into the league, and you're like, wow, this is not your everyday rookie. He's playing at a different level and a different pace, which was his pace. And then he moves into his second year. You can tell he's gotten better, and he's gotten better in his third year. MVP, because we were watching him in the bubble, and he was outstanding. And he's been outstanding up and down all year. But I tell you what, he's still playing at a great level. Maybe not MVP level, but he's as advertised, for sure.
It seems that appreciation for Luka Doncic runs in the family, as Vince Carter's cousin, Tracy McGrady, also has a lot of love for Luka's game. Tracy was asked, which young player does he look at in the NBA and say that he is the future of the league? And without a second of thinking, he said, Luka.
Luka is pretty damn good. I love watching Luka because Luka is not the fastest. He's not the quickest. He can't jump over a dollar. But skill-wise, his skill level is off the charts. He knows how to control the pace of a game. Mm-hmm. He knows how to create space and get his shot off on anybody, whether it's somebody that's bigger, stronger, quicker than him. He just knows how to play the game and control the pace.
The story of Luka grows with every passing day. From retired basketball legends to Hall of Fame coaches, his peers, and ordinary fans, everyone appreciates the basketball virtuoso that Luka Doncic is. Luka is a relatively young player in NBA terms. MJ didn't win his first title until he was 28 years old. LeBron didn't win his title until he was 27. If Luka manages to win a championship this year, having only turned 25 years old, he will be on a path to surpassing them all. Are we witnessing history? Are we watching a new all-time great creating his legacy before our very own eyes?